So this is actually a pretty sick ass bounty hunter match that I had last night. I was playing with one other person, and I really feel like this game kind of shows off MGO in a good light. I mean, I guess the way you can decide to approach it. A lot of people really have concerns with the game. A lot of new players, I guess I should say, with the fact that they wanted to play Metal Gear Online like how they played the Phantom Pain, and they find that it's, I don't want to say difficult, but there's nothing that really encourages pure stealth gameplay in Metal Gear Online. And in a way, that's kind of why I wanted to show off this gameplay, because I feel like stealth does exist on Metal Gear Online, but it's a different type of stealth. This game actually shows off, yes, that I am using stealth camo, but I'm using it in a way where it benefits me, because even though that sounds obvious, what a lot of people are doing, and again, I'm assuming that they are new players, is that they're using the stealth camo and they're running around kind of like how I just did right there. But the reason I did that right there is because it allowed me to get past those guys without being spotted. And what happened, I waited just a little bit, and it did not take the second wave of people that long to see me. So you really have to know your situations and really just start making like on the fly decisions, because a guy like this playing the way that he's playing is also a viable strategy, and it's a strategy that a lot of people tend to stick to because it is effective. This guy is on the mortar. He has +3 right now. We're down 6 tickets, and in a game like Metal Gear where people are like, it's a stealth game, you got one person who is basically wrecking everybody, being as loud as he wants to be. And that's why I kind of actually really like this gameplay, because it shows that you can be stealthy and be loud. And this game was a close game. Both matches were really close. The second round was amazing, and two different tactics that are opposite of each other still, I guess in a way, still counteract each other, I guess, because a lot of people, like I said before, think that the stealth is kind of non-existent and there's really no benefit towards it. But it's all about knowing your situations. And like I said, if you're waiting for, like, you know, I guess in a way you have to be aggressive when you're trying to be stealthy. You can't really be passive because it only works so many times. Like in the situation where in the beginning of the game I let that Walker Gear walk right by me, it worked in that favor, because it worked in my favor that time, because I know that I might have had the advantage with him having his back towards me, but he has the advantage because he has the bigger gun, and those things flip on a dime. They do a 180 quick, so I'm not willing to risk that. Being passive at that time worked out for me. Coming up right now is a time where being aggressive works out, and that's when you need to know how to flip the switch. You need to know when to be passive and when to be aggressive, but it is still possible to be both while being stealthy. And if you do it right, it's going to be very, very hard to kill you. So coming up right now, I see that 3 of my teammates are over there. I don't really know who else is over there, but I know that they're at least fighting one person, and just because I see that, that doesn't mean I can just start running and saying, oh, it's okay because it's just that one guy. No, you can see right now, there are a lot of people. I'm about to die, and while I could go and just like try to take out 1 or 2 more, I just decided to turn on the stealth camo, and I still use cover. I don't go out in the open, and I really make the fights, I try to put the fights in my favor, where this guy kind of doesn't really know where I'm at. I'm in the shadows and I'm fighting these guys, and I'm picking them off one at a time. It might have been 4 of them, but it was a 1 versus 1 every single time. And that's how you have to manipulate the situations, because even if it were 2 against 1, those are not really those are not really great odds in a game like this, because you die so fast. And when people get better, they're going to start going for the headshots, and people are going to die even quicker. So you really have to make those fights as even as possible And in a way, this is not my playstyle at all. I don't play stealthy. In fact, I actually get like anxious and I have to play aggressive. And I focus more on just running around kind of like how I'm doing now and just shooting things. And more often than not, that's probably the gameplay you'll see from me. But I feel like this is actually a pretty decent game to show off the stealthiness in the game, because if people are kind of getting discouraged at what to do, just really know to take your time. You're fighting against real life humans, you know, kind of put yourself in their shoes. You know, what would you do? And most people tend to be a little more aggressive, so why not let them come to you? And also know what you're dealing with at all times, because right here I'm looking, yes, there's 15 seconds left on the clock, yes, it's 9-1, one more kill wins, but you know what would really ruin it right now? If I got stunned and Fultoned out, I'd literally lose it for my team. And I was by myself the entire game, except for this point where it really mattered, where I needed to be with somebody, because like I said, all it takes is one dude to get fed up with my shit and literally make it his mission to hunt me down. And who knows, maybe he got me at the last second, you know. But you really got to know your situations. You really got to know when it's okay to be stealthy and when it's okay to be loud. And in this case, we decided to do both. So right here, Lahad is my teammate. Make sure you keep that in mind, because at this point I really wish I had the actual in-game like discussion that we were having, because we were actually appreciating that dude Bear, his tactic of just being loud. Like, we recognize that as a viable tactic. You can see right there, Lahad just got a kill with the mortar. I saw that as an opportunity to go ahead and try to get one myself. It didn't work out, and it actually could have gotten worse. Actually, it could have been worse. But we start talking about how it's a viable strategy, and I realized I'm an infiltrator and I have e-locators, so why not try to coordinate something like that? And that's what we ended up doing. And again, like I said before, try to maintain your sprint, know when to sprint, because people that sprint have tunnel vision and you can literally do things like that. But luckily somebody else got me, or I guess luckily for them. And in all honesty, I didn't even realize I got grabbed. I was really surprised. I was like, holy shit. I thought my controller died at first, but luckily that wasn't the case. But I mean, at this point we look and we realize that these guys are actually pretty good. Walker gear is theirs. You know, these guys could easily win at any point in time. So the next best thing that we can do is to try to coordinate a way where either we're Fultoning these guys or we're just mowing them down. And pretty soon what comes up is, like I said, me deciding to still be, I guess, a pain in their ass, because I flip on the stealth camo and it really does help, but it doesn't make you fully invisible. So like doing something like how I did right there was really stupid. There's no need for me to just go out like that. And I think when I spawned in, I actually screwed up that guy's shot because it went all crazy, and then I think he was going for that guy, and I felt bad when I rewatched the footage. I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. But this is where shit starts getting serious. These guys are marked. I kind of realized, I was like, dude, you can't play stupid like how I just died last time. I shouldn't have died that time, and I decided to do how you guys should do it, and that is make these fights as bad as 1 versus 1 as possible. At this point, I'm chucking the e-locators because Lahad is at the mortar point, and this is a way to coordinate being stealthy, infiltrating, and like marking people, but being as loud as you want and just mowing them down. Because right now I'm in the middle of the fight, but my biggest cover right now is the fact that he basically has my back with a big ass mortar, and it worked out in this case because I marked the guy. And always go for the mark first, because at the very least you can go in there and you might die instantly, but at least you got the mark first. So always go for the mark, and it worked out in my favor because the dude went for the choke. It basically gave Lahad enough time to fire a mortar and have it travel to the thing, because there is a little time in between. It's not instant. And that basically just stood him still for me, or for him. And you can see he's just going off right now. And these guys, people tend to play differently when you play aggressive. When everybody's playing stealthy, you'll notice that a lot of people really start taking their time, and everybody plays their best when they take their time. And that's why I guess games like Team Sneak, or I guess Cloak and Dagger, as you guys might know it, are so popular, because that's where you'll get the quote-unquote true Metal Gear Online experience. But it's more than just a play style. It's a mindset that you have to get people into. When you're playing stealthy, everybody plays at their best, and this is a competitive game. What do you want to do? You want to win. So the best way, or the best thing that you can do, is be aggressive, because it makes everybody aggressive, and it makes everybody a little bit, I guess, a little slower on the trigger. You know, everybody has tunnel vision, and they don't catch everything at once. Whereas everybody who's, you know, any person who's taking their sweet time can take a lot of time to absorb everything. You know what I mean? So it's really about playing the person and not so much the game. And I mean, at this point, like I said, Lahad's a teammate. It would really suck if he got Fultoned. I told him just to run towards me. I see the people. I know where they're at. And I just stay, you know, perched up somewhere. You know, it's a really good way to play slow, but you got to also have the teammates to kind of complement that, because if you don't, then it's going to be really difficult, because this game is really hard to coordinate by yourself. You know, this is not a solo type of game. So I strongly recommend people who are having a hard time playing this game, or are not really liking it because they feel like they can't play the way they want to play. I strongly recommend you guys to find people to play with, because it really does help. But for the most part, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope it showed off the fact that you can play both ways. It is possible. It just takes a lot of practice. But leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, take care.